Brother lads, welcome back to Cossy Podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to brand new video. This is the Arsenal morning drive, exactly 11 a.m. to noon. We're going to be diving into the latest around Arsenal. Arsenal are monitoring KAORU Mitoma, but yesterday we also had the London Football Awards, where many Arsenal players and many Arsenal people actually won a couple of things. Martin Odegaard was given and was named Premier League Player of the Year. That is 2022. I mean 2022 or 2023. We're gonna be diving into that. We're gonna be talking about Bukayo Saka, Young Player of the Year in the Premier League. Mikel Arteta as well was named as the Manager of the Year, and Aaron Ramsdale was named Goalkeeper of the Year. We're going to be diving into much of those. We're going to be diving into much of those words, trying to make sense out of them, and trying to react to the boys winning those awards. Of course, we'll be talking about the rest of the other news as they come in. Raheem Sterling and Marco Asensio on the show as well. I think Marco Asensio is a player that has been really linked with Arsenal for quite some time. And of course, Raheem Sterling is a player that Mikel Arteta has always tried to sign every single window that comes in. He wants to sign him. But right now, it looks like he wants to add him to the squad, courtesy of the experience he could be bringing to the Arsenal side. Good morning and welcome back to the show. I hope you're actually doing very, very well. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the podcast as well. Let me know where you're actually watching from. What is the weather like where you are? It's very cold. It has been raining for like the past 3 hours right here, and that's why I was a little bit 11 minutes actually later. But it's now a little bit better. It's cold. It's still very, very cold. So let me know how is the weather like where are watching from. Where are you watching from actually? And do you think KAORU Mitoma is a player that Arsenal should be trying to sign in the summer? Brilliant player. He's actually done very well to replace Leandro Trossard. We tried to sign him in January. He's a player that we wanted if we didn't get Mikhail Modric, but it didn't seem like that easy. It was never going to be that easy because Brighton are now trying to extend his deal. But again, Brighton are always willing to sell. They're always willing to listen to offers if offers are always on the table, right? So let's get into it this early morning. First and foremost, yesterday we had the London Football Awards that are hosted every single year, and they focus on Premier League players. They focus on Premier League action. We have awards like the Premier League Manager of the Year, Premier League Young Player of the Year, Premier League Player of the Year, and Premier League Goalkeeper of the Year. And yesterday, Arsenal went absolutely bold in those awards. We actually won a couple of them. One, Martin Odegaard was named Premier League Player of the Year at the London Football Awards. Mikel Arteta was also named Manager of the Year at the London Football Awards. Bukayo Saka was named Young Player of the Year at the awards still, and Aaron Ramsdale was named Goalkeeper of the Year at the awards. Now, listen, Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard won the main award ahead of Saka, Tottenham's Harry Kane, Brentford's Ivan Toney, and Fulham frontman Alexander Mitrovic. Okay, and these were the words from the man himself, Martin Odegaard. He said, "I just want to share this with the whole team." Said Martin Odegaard, "It's great to see the club being recognized with all the awards. I think it shows how far we've come as a club, and what we are doing this year is very, very special." Elsewhere, West Ham legend Mark Noble was given prestigious outstanding contribution to London Football Awards. Okay, so that is what we won at the awards. We literally won everything at the awards, by the way, because you look at Saka winning Young Player of the Year, Odegaard Player of the Year, or my manager winning Manager of the Year, and the goalkeeper winning Goalkeeper of the Year. Right. So let's start with Martin Odegaard. The contenders were Harry Kane, Mitrovic, and Ivan Toney. Those were the contenders for Player of the Year. Now, I particularly don't understand how this is given, whether it is kind of because if you're giving 2022, Haaland must be on these awards. I think Kevin De Bruyne has to be on these awards. Maybe Casemiro has to be on these awards as well. And Lisandro Martinez and the likes of these. But Odegaard, for me, And listen, if Arsenal win the Premier League, Odegaard has to win best player in the Premier League this year. I know Saka's been absolutely going bold. I think Saka's been very, very good. But if Arsenal win the Premier League, Martin Odegaard has to win best player of the season, best player in the season 2022-2023. He's been absolutely going bold this season. He's been very, very good, Martin Odegaard. And I'm not surprised that all these other awards that are actually going to be given before before the footballing association, before the FA actually distribute their own awards. I'm not surprised that we are winning all these awards. Our team is actually doing very well. I think Odegaard purely deserves it. Has there been any other player better than him in the Premier League this season? I don't think so. You look at Haaland and the goals he's scoring and the overall contribution. I don't think he's had a greater contribution to Manchester City than Odegaard has had at Arsenal. Kevin De Bruyne this season, the assists are actually absolutely through the roof, but the inconsistency and also looking at comparing him and Odegaard, they're almost at the same level, by the way, in terms of goal contributions. Odegaard this season, I think he has around 19 goal contributions, right? And Kevin De Bruyne this season has around 19 goal contributions. So for me, Odegaard, by far, maybe not by far, maybe it's a little bit close. I want to be as objective as I can on the show. Maybe it's a little bit close. Maybe it's not as far, but he's been one of the best performing players in the Premier League. The other players I would talk about Carlos Enrique Casemiro. I'll talk about Lisandro Martinez. I'll talk about William Saliba. I'll talk about Saka. Those are the players that I feel have been purely outstanding. And listen, I want to say, come the end of 2023 and FIFA produced their own awards, FIFA Best Player of the Year and the team, whether Odegaard is going to be on that team. Because if Odegaard is not on that team, whether we win the league or we do not, Odegaard has to be on the team of the 2023 FIFA Awards. He has to be there. So Odegaard winning was named Premier League Player of the Year, and I hope he can actually go on until the end and win Player of this season. And look, Kevin De Bruyne has won it for a very, very long time. Like every single season, when you think about that one player, it's always Kevin De Bruyne. It's always that one player that always wins. It's always that one player that everybody goes, oh, it's Kevin De Bruyne. Oh, it's Kevin De Bruyne. I think we brought in challenges, we brought in competition to these awards. I think everyone will enjoy them now. Every single person will enjoy the awards. Now, Saka has won Young Player of the Year. This is a no-brainer. I've had stories about Garnacho. I've had stories about Julian Alvarez. And I think all these players have actually done very well, right? I think Garnacho is exciting. If you're a Manchester United fan, which I know none of you is, I think you must be really, really, really excited if you're a Man United fan about Garnacho. But Bukayo Saka, for me, shouldn't actually be winning Young Player of the Year. Saka should be winning Player of the Year, Premier League. His goal contributions this season, only, I think we have around 20 goal contributions from Bukayo Saka. 20 goal contributions in the Premier League, right? More than 20 in all competitions for Arsenal. And you look at what he did for England at the World Cup. Look, Saka is no longer a young player. Saka is now competing directly with the likes of Erling Haaland, who are also very young players, by the way, with the likes of Harry Kane, with the likes of, Mbappe, with the likes of Vinicius Jr., who are still very young players, right? But right now, the top talents in football, be it Victor Osimhen, be it Kavicha Kvaratskhelia, be it Pedri, be it Gavi, be it Jamal Musiala, the top talents in football, the players that are driving traffic, to all football games and all football clubs are actually young players. And for me, Saka was purely robbed. Of course, you've got to give it to Martin Odegaard because Odegaard is the captain. Odegaard is that kind of guy that has just elevated Arsenal into a much better team. But Saka, Young Player of the Year, he was bound to win this one. He was really, really bound to win this one. I don't think there is a young player in the Premier League, apart from Erling Haaland. I don't think there's another young player in the Premier League. I would go, he should have won it over Saka. Maybe one I would mention, just for security, is William Saliba. And and Martinelli. Because Martinelli has 12 goals this season. He's been very, very good, but not better than Saka, in my opinion. And then William Saliba, maybe, right? Just maybe. Maybe William Saliba is the guy that all of us would go, Saliba should have won it ahead of Bukayo Saka. But in London, English awards, a French guy is never going to win it on a French on a native, right? On an English player, it's never going to happen, right? Calm down, Saliba. You will win it next time. So those are the awards. Now, Aaron Ramsdale, awarded goalkeeper of the year. I want your thoughts here. I really, really do. I want your thoughts here before we get to Mikel Arteta, right? Ramsdale awarded goalkeeper of the year. This one is where I would say no. Okay, but again, if you are going to credit Arsenal for our improvement in not conceding many goals, for our improvement in being one of the very organized defensive sides in the Premier League, Ramsdale has got to get some credit. I said this in the match preview and the match reaction as well, that Ramsdale, there are times where Ramsdale makes world-class saves, and at times when he disappoints. And of course, we were talking about it yesterday, and we were saying, is he a world-class goalkeeper? Do we take him as a world-class goalkeeper? And many of you told me he's actually near there. He's actually very close to being world-class. So he won goalkeeper of the year at the London Football Awards. I think Liverpool fans will really, really feel cheated here. They always put Alisson ahead of any other goalkeeper in the Premier League. Man United fans will also feel a little bit hard done by, because David De Gea has also been absolutely a legend for them. But Ramsdale, it's high time he won the award. And then Mikel Arteta, manager of the year. I see where this is going. I really, really see where this is going, okay? The debate between who has been better, Arteta or Eric Ten Hag, for me, doesn't make any sense right now. It really, really doesn't. I think Ten Hag has been absolutely bold for Manchester United. And there's so many other players that you would actually think about for manager of the year. I think Thomas Frank at Brentford. I think Eric Ten Hag at Manchester United. De Zerbi as well. De Zerbi has not been a bad manager, has he? And then Marco Silva at Fulham, right? But I think Mikel Arteta has blown each and every person away. It's called blowing proportions. It's overachieving. It is setting standards that are too ambitious, and everybody says they cannot achieve that. They cannot go to that level to achieve them. And we are trying to achieve those standards. Listen, if anyone told us that we could do a double, we could be on our way to do a double by this time at the beginning of the season, we could have said you are mad. You are purely mad. Because we look at our signings in the summer. They're not signings that actually make us the best team in the Premier League. I don't think they are. Jesus and Alexander Zinchenko, maybe they guarantee us a top 5 finish, but they don't guarantee us a title race like neck to neck with Manchester City. They actually do not, right? But for us to go toe to toe, neck to neck with Manchester City, courtesy of those two signings, is purely Mikel Arteta. He's influenced the way we think. He's influenced the culture at this football club. He's influenced the transfer, the transfer culture, which has actually been a very huge problem for Arsenal. For me, I think Arsenal could have been in a much better position in the past years. But one of our big problems has been mismanagement and a very, very, poor transfer team. You sign Pepe for 70 million. You bring in, players that you've not even looked at, for some time. We were doing Chelsea's Tony Bolly's policy. That's what we're doing. We look at a player, we get excited, and go in and sign him, right? And look, remember we've brought in some of the best transfer scouts around the world. The chief scout that was previously at Dortmund and now at Milan was at Arsenal for some time, and surprisingly, our transfer policy and our transfer business didn't actually get any better until Mikel Arteta and Edu became head of transfers. He's done very, very well. Look, there will be debates of who inherited the harder job. Is it Ten Hag? Is it Mikel Arteta? I want to say this, and I want to say this bold. Mikel Arteta, by far, in the world, has inherited the hardest job. Okay, anyone will talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, but we've had those situations as well. Mesut Ozil and the non-footballing reasons as to why he never had to play football. That was not down to Mikel Arteta. That was down to Mesut Ozil and the club. And Mikel Arteta was caught in between. We had egos of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, where players like Socrates. We had a whole 22 squad, a whole 22-man squad to clear out. Okay, and these Manchester United fans don't understand that they have a Fred who is a footballer, they have a Bruno Fernandes, they have a Marcus Rashford, they have a Jadon Sancho. All those players, they have a Garnacho. All those players were phoned by Eric Ten Hag, right? But Mikel Arteta, of all the players he phoned at this football club, it is only Xhaka and El Neni that are still playing football, and Bolding, I think, that are still playing football. The rest are out of the door. And there is no one player that Mikel Arteta got rid of, apart from maybe Aubameyang and Ozil. The rest of the players had to go. It's as simple as that. The rest of the players simply had to go. I'm looking back right now, and I'm like, did we have Socrates Papastopoulos as one of our centre backs? Mustafi as one of our centre backs, Sid Kolasinac as one of our fullbacks, Hector Bellerin as a fullback, as a starter at Arsenal. Did we have all those players, right? Did we? And the answer is we actually did. So for me, Mikel, if there is any manager that deserves a lot of credit, if there is a manager that deserves a trophy, it's Mikel Arteta. He's actually done very, very well. Hit the like button. Let me know where you're watching from. And do you think we are deserving of the awards? Does Mikel Arteta deserve Manager of the Year? Does Saka deserve Young Player of the Year? Does Martin Odegaard deserve Player of the Year? As they were awarded at the London Football Awards. I don't know why I keep calling them Arsenal Awards. They're London Awards, all right? They're London Awards. Good morning, Boma. Says, hi, Cossy. What can I say? Mitoma will be the best signing for Arsenal in 2023. I'm Kalulu from Uganda. Thank you so much. Moses says, Cossy, good morning. Nice update from you're the best, bro. Thank you so much. Sa Clueless says it's London Awards. Only teams from London. I understand, right? Really, really do understand. Anu says Ramsdale is worth it, all right? And then Seven says nice one. Bernard says morning, Cossy. I love your job. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Lamu says the awards was only for London, best clubs, and we're the best club in London. Look, we've played 5 London derbies this season, and away from home, and we've not conceded a goal, and we've won all of them. It's a no-brainer now. It's really, really a no-brainer. But even if it's only London clubs, right? I think Marco Silva is in there. Marco Silva, the Fulham manager, is in there. Is in tight contention, isn't he? He's really, really in tight contention. And Harry Kane, as well, has been going bold this season. Very, 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 very bold. Right. John says, good morning, bro. I am happy for the awards for the Arsenal boys. Adidayo says, good morning. John says, I am in Uganda. I am in Uganda, my country. Adidayo says, my name is Victor, chatting live from Nigeria. Good morning, Victor. Simon says, Tororo is very cold. It's very cold in Kampala, bro. Dan says, good morning. Anu says, good morning, Cossy. Abel says, good morning, Cossy as well. Emma says, I wish Mitoma joins Arsenal. Lamu says, the awards was only for Arsenal, right? Was only for London, right? Jason says, we need factory news. And then, of course, we've been talking about factory news. Arsenal did win. As 4 Arsenal members of the Arsenal men's team won the awards at the London Awards. If that's not factor for you, then let's not. I will not have that, right? Sunny says Mitoma is my dream footballer for Arsenal, right? So let's get into some of the news that is walking around, making rounds on some of the biggest pages in the UK and also online. Let's start off with Marco Asensio. Now, Marco Asensio, according to what I've seen, he's being linked with Arsenal once again. Marco Asensio is a player that is going to be a free agent in the summer. His agent, who actually just signed for him in the last summer, George Mendes, has offered him to a couple of clubs, including Milan, Arsenal, Manchester United, and a couple of other clubs. I think Tottenham Hotspur has as well. So again, this is the 3rd time Arsenal have been linked with Marco Asensio. Question for the comments: would you take Marco Asensio to Arsenal in the summer? Free agent, Spanish international, played at the World Cup, by the way. He's 27 now. I think he's turning 27. If I'm not mistaken, he's turning 27 years of age. And he's one of those players that have always had the talent, but we've never seen the best out of him. I think he's one of those players that we can all agree we've never seen the best of Marco Asensio. Not at Madrid, not anywhere else, all right? He was a promising talent while joining Real Madrid, and we all thought he was going to be that kind of guy that goes bold, but it has not worked out. It has really, really not worked out. I thought he would be on the move in the summer, but the departure of a few players at Madrid meant that he had to stay, cover up, and he was promised some game time from Carlo Ancelotti. It has actually not worked out. Arsenal are looking for a left midfielder and a left winger, actually, or maybe a player who can also play a left as a left midfielder. And Marco Asensio is one of the names we are looking at. Now, what I like about Marco Asensio as a person who supports Spain is his versatility. I've seen him play as a false nine. I've seen him play as a right winger. I've seen him play as a number 10, and I've also seen him play as a left winger as well. He's very, very talented. Very talented. And I think at a time when we are looking for a replacement, not a replacement, but a backup for Saka, Marco Asensio could be a very good player. He could be a very good fit for us. Now, his numbers are not as high as Saka's. His numbers are not as good as Martinelli's, but his potential, it's even very, very surprising that I'm talking about potential for a player who's already 26 and above. But his potential is there. I think there is a player in Marco Asensio. There is a player in there. I think we've just not seen the best of him at Spain. We've just not seen the best of him, at Real Madrid. So Marco Asensio, deal or no deal? Let me know in the comment box below. Deal or no deal? Offered to Arsenal on a free. I highly think he will be on the move in the summer. I don't think we'll sign a new deal at Madrid, and I see him as the next signing for AC Milan, right? These are the kind of deals that AC Milan do. These are the kind of players that Milan sign. Those kind of players that are out of contract. They need to revive their career. You look at the likes of Brahima Diaz and what they've done, the likes of Olivier Giroud, the likes of Divock Origi. These are the kind of signings for AC Milan. But if Arsenal wanted to sign a player to back up Saka, because again, Marco Asensio loves to play what Saka does. Play on the right-hand side, cut inside on his favorite left foot, and have that goal, and have that color, and have that shot inside the penalty area. I think Mikel Arteta would make Marco Asensio a much better player. I'm looking at Asensio in the lens of Martin Odegaard. I'm looking at Asensio as one of those players that we could turn into another Martin Odegaard. And that's why I think it's not a bad deal. It wouldn't be a totally bad deal if Arsenal signed Marco Asensio. Now, his injury-prone record is something to look at before we go in there and try to sign him. And that's one of the things we should look at. And also, apart from his injury-prone record, I think his productivity in terms of numbers is also something that we have to work on before we make him a quality player. I think we'll need to work on the rate at which he scores goals. We have to work on the rate at which he makes assists, and also his injury record. But these are things that we've actually worked on with a couple of players this season. Martinelli's record in terms of statistics has actually become much better this season. His record, injury-wise, has also become much better this season. So I'm thinking if Arsenal wants a backup for Saka, if we want to get someone to just back up Saka, Marco Asensio is a nice shout, right? Marco Asensio would be a very, very good shout. For free, again, for free. It's a deal that you do just to get that backup for Saka. I don't think Arsenal will get a backup for Bukayo Saka. And it's one of those positions that we keep on ignoring every single summer, every single winter transfer window, and it will come back to bite us, right? So for me, Marco Asensio, not a bad deal, not a priority for me, to be honest, but not a bad deal. I'll do it if there is no other deal for us to do, right? You just do it. Now, the other player, again, we are linked with is Raheem Sterling. Sterling, we've talked about Sterling before on the channel, haven't we? Mikel Arteta looks at Sterling as a player who can provide that kind of Champions League experience, okay? And we've talked about Champions League experience, we've talked about UCL, and we've said if you want to go there and compete, you need the experience. You need those players that have the pedigree. You need players that have played in the competition. You need players that understand the do's and don'ts of the do's and don'ts of the competition. That would be Raheem Sterling. But I have a problem with Arsenal signing Chelsea flops, and I have a problem with Chelsea signing Chelsea rejects, okay? I look at Raheem Sterling as another Willian signing. When we signed Willian, we were all excited because Willian Borges da Silva is a very talented footballer. He's a very, very talented footballer. But when we signed him, I think he played one good game. That was against Fulham, and it was his debut. That was the end of William Borges da Silva at Arsenal. It was the end, right? I don't know whether he came in at Arsenal with a Chelsea mindset and he doesn't care. I don't know whether he was just finished, because he wasn't finished, because right now at Fulham, he's one of their troublemakers. He's one of the key players, at Fulham, right? So I do not think, to be honest, William Borges da Silva was finished. I don't know what actually happened in between, and then it became a flop. And then he went to Brazil and came back to the Premier League and is now lighting it up at Fulham. Sterling, on the other hand, has played for Pep Guardiola for quite some time. He's played with Mikel Arteta for quite some time. And then he goes into that Chelsea zone and then has to come back to Arsenal. It's not a bad deal. It's not one of the worst deals in the world. So if Arsenal want to do it, I wouldn't go, don't do it. It's a bad deal. I don't think it's a really, really very bad deal. But I don't think it's a healthy one. Right? I don't think it's a healthy one. If we're looking for experience, we can get it from so many players. Like we can sign anyone but a Chelsea player. I just don't like the fact that we always go into Chelsea and get those 29-year-olds, 28-year-olds. Those are not very good deals for us. They're not actually very good deals, right? So Raheem Sterling, putting the banter away and putting all the Chelsea beef away, Sterling is 28. Worked with Mikel Arteta. His goal-scoring record in the Premier League and in the Champions League for Manchester City has been remarkable. He has not won the Champions League, so it doesn't mean I wouldn't say he comes in to bring that kind of Champions League winning experience. And I'm telling you this: Arsenal could win the UEFA Champions League if City don't win it this year. Arsenal could win the UEFA Champions League before Manchester City, right? So is Sterling a player that I would think about, or is he an option we should think about? It's a complicated one for me. It's a really, really complicated question for me because I don't think he's a bad player. But then I don't think Arsenal is what Arsenal need. And that's where the confusion is, right? He's not a bad player, but I don't think he is what Arsenal need. I don't think he's that kind of guy that, Arsenal need. Right now we have Leandro Trossard, who, brings that experience from Premier League experience. Maybe not a winner, but brings that Premier League experience. And it's a little bit older than the likes of Martinelli and Emile Smith-Rowe. If I were to bring in a player, I would do two things. One, we're going to be talking about KAORU Mitoma. I would either bring in a player like KAORU Mitoma, young, energetic, talented, is going to blow the world away. All right? Or bring in a player who has actually done it in the UEFA Champions League, like Barcelona signed Robert Lewandowski. So I would suggest that if we cannot get KAORU Mitoma, if we cannot get the likes of Moussa Diaby, the young, energetic lads, Arsenal should go for a 29, 30-year-old that has won the UEFA Champions League. Okay, just imagine if you added Arjen Robben to this team when he was 30, right? When he was 30, I'm not saying right now. When he was 30, if you added Arjen Robben to this team, he would make a difference up front, especially in the UEFA Champions League. If I added, which other players have actually won the UEFA Champions League and could sign for Arsenal? Because it has been Madrid and Liverpool trying to, doing it all the time. If we added Sadio Mane, okay, actually that's a very nice shout. That's a very, very good shout. If we added Sadio Mane, to Arsenal's UEFA Champions League squad, that would be a game changer. That would be a massive, massive game changer. Or if we added a player like Harry Kane or Heung-min Son, yeah, right? So I think with Raheem Sterling, I want someone who has won it, right? I want someone who has won it and someone who's not coming in from Chelsea. I'll take Heung-min Son and Harry Kane every day because they have not won it, but I'll take them every day over Raheem Sterling. I don't want us to go into that Chelsea, zone of they're signing us Chelsea rejects, they're signing Chelsea flops. I don't want us to go in there. So if you're going to eat a frog, let's eat the juice one. Let's go for a player who's won the UEFA Champions League and is 30. That Sadio Mane, I'll take him. Roberto Firmino, I'll take him. Okay. Which other players have won it and could come in and Arsenal? I think Marco Asensio has won it. Yeah, Marco Asensio has won it, but I don't think it's been that integral part of the Real Madrid teams that have actually won the UEFA Champions League. That's why I would actually write him off. Like I would just write him off, right? Just because of that. So Sterling, the pedigree is there. The relationship with Mikel Arteta is there as well, but it's one that I'll be happy to see go through the window, right? Now we are monitoring as well. We are monitoring KAORU Mitoma at Brighton. Mitoma, as a player Arsenal wanted to sign in January, and the deal didn't happen because of a few reasons that actually were going around. One, Brighton did want to sell. Number two, the money they are asking for KAORU Mitoma is absolutely crazy. They're saying if anyone wants to sign him, they're asking for around 100 million. Okay. That is crazy from Brighton. That is really, really crazy. But what I'm hearing is that they're also trying to give him a new deal at the club. I really, really think he will sign that. But is he a player that Arsenal should sign? I think it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Look, if you want to have that extra quality in the next 2 or 3 years, and you're not willing to spend 200 million on Kylian Mbappe, you're not willing to spend 300 million on Vicha Vareseria and Victor Osimhen, there is one player you've got to sign, and that is KAORU Mitoma. Mitoma is the representation of Jamal Musiala at Bayern. Mitoma is the representation of Pedri at Barcelona. Is the representation of Vinicius Jr. at Real Madrid. And in my opinion, this is just my opinion, right? He's the best left winger in the Premier League right now. They've talked about Marcus Rashford, but Marcus Rashford has become more of a center forward. That's what he's doing. He's scoring goals, banging in goals, and everything. But KAORU Mitoma is literally doing everything. His game is all around. He's a beautiful footballer. He's a very, very good footballer. So for me, right now, in my opinion, picturing into Trossard, picturing in Martinelli, and all those other left wingers we have in the Premier League, KAORU Mitoma is the best Premier League is the best Premier League left winger. He is the best in the league right now. So I'll take him. I think Arsenal will look at this one and try to negotiate their way around it. It's a deal that we'll try to do. I'm very, very convinced about that. It's a deal we'll try to do. It's a deal that will go, can we maybe have a 30% cut? Maybe try to sign him for 70 million. Maybe try to sign him for 80 million. And if Brighton agree to 80 million, why not? I think it's worth the money. He's really, really worth the money. It's not actually, it's not proven at that level yet. But it's one of those where you sign him. Each club, any club that signs him, actually will have real value for money. And I won't be very surprised if Manchester City come in for him. I won't be surprised if clubs like Manchester United come in for him. I won't be surprised if Liverpool even actually try to sign him. Because look, he's not English, he's Japanese. Anyone could sign him, that's number one. So if you're a Japanese player, I think that's one of the advantages. Anyone can sign you. But also, if you're a Japanese player, it means that you don't have this premium that comes alongside players like Jack Grealish, alongside players like Marcus Rashford. If anyone try to sign Marcus Rashford right now, 300 million. If anyone tried to sign Grealish right now, 200 million. But with the likes of KAORU Mitoma, you talk to Brighton, you tell them, we have 70 million, we have 75 million, and I think they would agree. They would really, they would listen to such an offer. But that is a deal that will take time for Arsenal to do, right? If we're gonna do it, it would take time. But I would really love to see Arsenal go in there and try to do that. This is the Arsenal morning drive. It takes you right from 11 a.m. to noon, right? It is actually very rainy outside, and that is why noon doesn't look like it's actually very near. But yeah, we take you up to noon. Emma says, Cossy, talk about Ansu Fati. Fati has been linked with Arsenal. Fati is not happy at FC Barcelona. And I'm going to say this. Now, the problem with Ansu Fati is not Xavi as a manager, first and foremost. The problem with Ansu Fati is injuries. He's been affected by, I think he did suffer a knee ligament injury some time back, went through 2 surgeries, and then when he came back, he found Dembele, Rafinha, Pedri, Gavi, and Robert Lewandowski. Those are 5, top quality players in your position. Now he's been linked with Arsenal, and we are told that he might be leaving FC Barcelona in the summer if nothing changes. If game time doesn't go up, he might leave. And also Xavi is Xavi is more like a Mikel Arteta, more like a Pep Guardiola. He will let you go, all right? He will bench you. To be honest, I think at times Ansu Fati has been benched unfairly. At times he's been given the football and he has wasted his opportunities. Okay, so it's either that he's washed. Okay, it's either that he's washed, or he needs to go somewhere else and become their Messi, because Barca see him as a Messi. He's come through the ranks. He's ridden through the ranks. He's one of those players that are really appreciated at FC Barcelona. But I would say this, right? I would say this. If Arsenal want to sign Ansu Fati, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with Arsenal signing Ansu Fati. I really don't. I think he's one of those young players that just need to turn their careers around, more like a Martin Odegaard kind of style. Odegaard is now player of the year among all the players playing in London. He's player of the year. But you've also got to think about this. This guy is a Madrid reject. This guy was rejected by Real Madrid. So I'll take Ansu Fati any day, every day of the week. I'll take Ansu Fati, at Arsenal. But the price will matter. Okay, the price will matter. Barca have signed. I've given him a new deal, I think, and I think he's got a billion release clause. Same as Pedri, same as Gavi. That's where the problem is with all these clubs. They do these very crazy deals, and in the end, it comes back to bite them. Why would you put a billion release clause in a player's contract? A player who's not even doing it already at a top level. Why would you? Of course, I understand Barca do have their own problems. They don't want to lose their best players and everything. But in my opinion, a billion release clause is crazy. But if Arsenal decided to sign Ansu Fati, I would back my team. I think he's a very special talent that has had a difficult year, maybe 2 difficult years. But when he comes back, when he bounces back, he will be absolutely bold. He will be going absolutely bold. Actually, his agent said that the couple of big clubs interested in the player, and it was also saying that if nothing changes at FC Barcelona, if he doesn't get the game time, if he doesn't start ahead of the likes of Dembele and Rafinha, he might actually consider other options. Could Arsenal be one of the options? Probably. If Arsenal go for Ansu Fati, is it a good deal? I think it's a good deal. I think it's a very good deal. But I think Fati is one of those players that would come to sign for Arsenal, and in his contract, he's like, if Barca want me back, I'm leaving. Right? If Barca want me to go back, if Barca want me to go and sign for them again, I'm leaving. I think he's one of those, just Fabregas, kind of players. But he's not a bad player, really. He isn't a bad player. I'll take him at Arsenal and give him some time. Right. Let's see what you people are saying in the chat here. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Arsenal Morning Show, by the way, the Arsenal Morning Drive. It takes you right from 11 a.m. to noon, to the afternoon, all right? Peter says Arsenal's best. Arsenal the best team. Okay. Good morning, Peter. Kondwani says, Cossy, we can pay 50 to 60 million plus Nketiah for Mitoma. We can replace Nketiah with Balogun, and we can be dangerous going forward. I don't think they would be doing any swap deals. Actually, let me tell you, if I were the agent of Edin Nketiah, I would take my client to Brighton in the summer. There is no place that Edin Nketiah would thrive better than at Brighton. If Danny Welbeck, if common senior man, Shabaranks, Danny Welbeck is thriving, and with a lot of respect to Danny Welbeck, because a very, very good modern number 9. By the way, many people don't actually realize, but Dizabi has played him in the position, and so did the ex-manager at Brighton, Graham Potter. So it's a very, very good, a very good forward in terms of the modern football, right? The modern football system. But I really think Edin Nketiah is more clinical than Danny Welbeck. So if you sign him, much better. Okay. Sunny says, let us try Messi. Let us try Messi from PSG and Neymar. You're talking about Champions League experience. Neymar, no. Neymar to Arsenal, no. Would I take him at Arsenal? No. It's not for me. For Neymar, it's not even the dressing room, fiascos and everything that people talk about. For me, Neymar, it's all about productivity. This season, he's been one of the best players in the French League, like recording crazy numbers. But I don't think Neymar is worth the hype. I don't think Neymar has ever, proven to me as a football player. It's either I don't watch him well. It's either I have so many friends that love Neymar. I'm not one of the company. I'm not one of the company that loves Neymar. Outside Kylian Mbappe all day. Outside Robert Lewandowski all day. Outside Zlatan Ibrahimovic all day. Outside Messi all day. Cristiano Ronaldo all day. There's so many players I would take, but not Neymar. I don't know. But Neymar for me, no. Purely no. Moses says, I think we've got to get Rafinha done. It's the best we can do at right now. Come on. You've got to move on. We've got to move on, right? We've got to move on. Rafinha is a Barcelona player. Very integral for Xavi. Very, very important for Xavi. And we've got to understand that. And we've got to move on. As simple as that. O'Brien says, Cossy, what about Dembele? Are you talking about the two Dembeles, of course, right? There is the Osman Dembele at Barcelona. Injury prone, but very good. Okay, injury prone, but very good. And then there is the Dembele, the young Dembele that was playing at Celtic a couple of years ago. But if you're talking about Moussa Dembele is a very good player. And his release clause actually is around 50 million. But my problem with Dembele is consistency. He's always in and out. Okay, he's always in and out. That's my only problem, by the way, with him. That's my only problem. And then Mudali says, bro, I will take Rafa Leao to Arsenal than any other winger. If you look at the chance Gab missed in first half, Leo could just score easily. The chance Gabriel missed in the first half, the one that Leno punched out, I think that's the chance that he missed in the first half, right? Yeah, I saw the chance. Now, Rafa Leao is a good player, isn't he? Like, he's a top talent, like really, really top talent. I'm looking at Milan. Are they going to allow him go in the summer? Maybe if he rejects the new contract, they could actually allow him go. You know what? I really love Rafa Leao. I really, really do, and I watch him almost every week at AC Milan because I support Milan in Italy. But there's something I don't like about Rafa Leao. He's a top player, and if he signed for Arsenal, he would be so good. But one thing I don't like about Rafa Leao is he's got that. He's got something about him. And his football. It's not like the likes of Mitoma And he's not a game. It is not a team player. Actually, that's what I wanted to say. I feel like he's better run on his own, and he's better off in a system like Milan, because Milan play ugly football. They sit back, they soak up pressure, and then they release they release Rafael and all these other players. So I would say, listen, I would say Mitoma over Real. Okay. I would say KAORU Mitoma over Rafael. I think Mitoma is a much better team player than Rafael. But the thing with Leao is he's matured a lot. He's won the Italian Serie A with AC Milan. He's played at the top level for some time, proven at the top level as well. So he's matured a lot. Maybe that, okay? I think it's also one of the reasons as to why they're already in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. Yola says, for me, it's Mitoma. Arau says, is there a chance to sign Gnabry? No, no chance. No chance Gnabry has signed a new deal. Maybe Leroy Sané. And then Adeyinka says, watching from London, enjoy your podcast. Thank you so much, bro. All right. So that has been our show. It's now noon, actually. It's a 1 hour show. Make sure you watch me later in the evening. We'll be live in the evening for the Arsenal Total Access show. We'll be diving into some of the biggest stories still that are making rounds around Arsenal. Love you so much. Thank you so much for hitting the like button and subscribing. If you've not hit the like button yet, please make sure you do. And as always, I'll speak to you right in the next one.